Hey everybody, this is Professor Lilly, and I want to talk to you about travel reporting for summer 2022. So what I'm looking at right now is the course Moodle page for the class, and everything's going to run through the Moodle page. Like I said in my email, this is an asynchronous class, which means there's no set class times, there's no live class sessions. We don't use Zoom unless you want to schedule like a private Zoom with me to talk about some concern of yours or have a question. But everything is asynchronous and weekly. So you're going to have to get used to coming to the Moodle page several times a week. And here's my email address. I also sent it in the email. And if you have any individual questions, always the best way to get information from me, ask me a question, is through email. So basically in this video, it's going to take about 15-20 minutes, and I'm going to go through all the aspects, the major aspects of the course, and I'm going to focus on doing it through Moodle so that you can get oriented to the Moodle site itself. There's still some little tweaks of things, like you can see this section here. I need to get rid of that. So a few things that I need to still tweak, but for the most part, everything is here, everything you need, especially for the first few weeks. So we start out here with the course syllabus, and I'll come back to this, but in this first week, you should check that out and kind of read through that, see if you have any questions. The overview of the course schedule is here, and this is just all of the due dates and benchmarks. There's probably a few more deadlines than I want. I want it to be very asynchronous, where there's not a lot of things you have to do every single day. But if you see here, you can see lots of Sundays and Wednesdays, a couple, like a Monday and a Friday thrown in there. And so this course really will rely on you to kind of stay on course in terms of what's going on. You can certainly take a few days off here and there. As long as you're aware of when things are due, you can turn assignments in early. You can certainly have a couple days where you're doing a lot of work and then taking off some work. And this course is designed this way on purpose so that when you're traveling, obviously you can't be expected like every single day to chime in and to do work. So again, the people who've been the most successful in this course, I've taught it for about 5 years, have been those who chime in frequently or are on top of the deadlines. All of these, or most of these deadlines here in this overview, are mentioned also later in the specific section. So this first week, I call it a short week, because generally by week I mean Monday through Sunday. So and when I'm referring to week 1, week 2, that's generally what I mean. So that's why I say this is a short week. There's not too much to do. I want you to watch this video that you're watching right now. I'm going to have it here in Moodle, but I'm also going to email you out the link. I want you to sign up for a discussion/work group, and these work groups are going to be doing 2 or 3 assignments together through a discussion forum. And again, it's not going to be a live discussion, but a discussion that takes place over the course of either 4 days or a whole week. And since right now there's 12 students in the course, and so you're going to sign up using this wiki tool. So there's only 2 groups. There's group gray and group green, and I want 6 students in each one, and that might change if a couple people add the course. But you can see Jamie here is already signed up for group gray, and she's given her name and email address and just a few things about where she's going to be living this semester, and some basic ideas she has for what she might want to write on in her travel blog. Each student is going to start their own public travel blog, and that's kind of like the main assignment for the semester. I'll get more into that in a second. So if you come in a couple of days and you find that group gray is full, there's already 6 students signed up, then just click on the group green and add your name here. And all you need to do is to hit edit, and then you can add whatever you need to add there. So again, this week, I want you to look at the syllabus, I want you to sign up for a group. And then the only other assignment is to start thinking about your travel blogs and all the information on setting up the travel blog, and everything you need to know is here after the week 2 aspects assignments. Then you just kind of skip ahead to this, and it gives you the major deadlines and guidelines. And if you scroll all the way down, you will see that there's 6 required story types that you have to write about. Now, the requirement for the whole blog assignment itself is at least 12. And just to reiterate this, let me go back to the syllabus. And I'm going to scroll down. So please, again, this first week, make sure you read through the syllabus. It gives a little bit more detail on most of the assignments. And if I focus in here, so like it says here, the public travel writing blog is 50%. So basically half of all the grading in this. There's going to be some other assignments that I'm going to talk about here. So I'm just reiterating that it's the major assignment for the semester. And it will involve at least 12 articles. So I say 12 plus, so that's what I mean. So if you do more than 12, then that will kind of enhance your grade even more towards the possibility of an A. Now, if you do like 12 crappy articles that are really short and don't fulfill the guidelines, well, does that mean you're gonna, if you write like 15 of those, are you gonna get it? I know, but if you can certainly write more than 12, that's great. But 6 of them are associated with our diversity designation, which is global awareness, and I'll get into that right now. So again, if you scroll down, here are some of the immediate aspects of doing your blog. And then when you scroll down, it talks about the 6 required story types. So you should read through these, because depending on where you are in your travels, I mean, some of you're not required to be traveling per se. So you could be based in a city in the United States or an area in the United States and making day trips or a weekend trip, or just traveling in your city. And so you should be thinking about some of the diversity, some of these required types as you're kind of planning your weeks, planning your weekends, okay? So the diversity designation for this course is called Global Awareness. And the reason why we chose that is, granted, traditionally students are taking this course when they're abroad in Europe, or in Asia, Australia, and so that fits getting them to start thinking about the global aspects of where they are and how it's different from the United States. But when we wrote the application for that diversity designation, we wrote that global awareness is also something you can think about and experience in the United States, because we have so many different cultures represented in the United States. So again, you don't have to travel outside of the U.S. to have global experiences, because every city, most regions have a variety of cultures. A lot of them are immigrant cultures. Some cultures, granted, 99% of us are from some sort of immigrant culture, even if you go back hundreds of years, with Native Americans being considered the only non-immigrant culture in the United States. And so it's even so, don't get hung up if you're in the United States with that global awareness. We're asking you for cultural awareness of different cultures that you encounter through your experiences, your travels this summer, and we're asking you to intentionally try to have some of those experiences. So as you can see here, in this first required story type is a food experience. So, and we're asking you to kind of go deeper than what you normally, or think more deeply than you might normally if you go to a restaurant that's not considered American. So you go to a sushi restaurant, for example, because there's many sushi restaurants throughout the United States. And so to think more deeply about, well, why are there so many sushi restaurants in the United States, and how long has that been the case? I can tell you that my children started eating sushi when they were small children, but for me, who I'm going to be 50 soon, I didn't eat sushi the first time until I was a senior in college, as opposed to my children who started eating sushi when they were children, right? So that kind of tells you maybe there's something happened in terms of the number of sushi restaurants and how that, as a type of restaurant that was in the United States, probably didn't start happening more until the 1980s and 1990s. So why is that? What aspects of Japanese culture come through in going to a sushi restaurant? What are some kind of questions you can ask while you're there to extend your knowledge and better understand what's taking place there, and then also do some research online and include links as well when you do that experience. And certainly if you're in a region or city that has particular cultural groups that are long-standing there, then try to go to have those type of experiences. So if there's a particular community in your city that's been there for a long time, then try to have that type of food experience or that type of physical cultural heritage experience, like going to a museum or monument, which is number 2. And anyway, so read through these, and I have descriptions for each one. A couple of them have some extra readings you have to do associated with them. So again, even though you have 6 required story types, they're all particular to what you want to and are able to do where you live. So you have to kind of go out and find those type of experiences, have them, take a lot of photos, do research, and then write it up and post it on your blog. Now, your other 6 stories, so again there's 12 total, are up to you. So I give you some 2 examples here of what student blogs look like from the past. So this one is a student who was at a traditional abroad program. So she's writing about not necessarily just standard travel experiences like going to a restaurant or going to a museum or something like that, but also the experiences she had. So she was at her abroad university, and so what are some of the differences and what are examples like there as opposed to Loyola is one of the things she wrote about, talking about how to, it's also when you learn about in the next week about what travel writing is, and what lifestyle journalism is, one of the things that these type of journalists do is give tips, so she talks about what are some criteria that a traveler can have for deciding what their favorite city or destination is. So you can have lists and things like that. And as we go through the first few weeks, I'm going to give you more and more details on tips and ideas of things you can do in your writing. But you are doing a specific type of writing, which is basically travel journalism. And then let me show you next one. And so this is a student who took this course last semester, and so she just talked about a variety of different trips that she had. And so she talks about Nashville and New Orleans, going out west. And so and this one I chose just because she takes a lot of really good photos. So wherever you go, take photos. You're required to have photos in all your articles. She has good links so that if I'm interested, for example, in going to Southern Colorado, I want to click on this article and see some links to the Great Sand Dune National Park and Zapata Falls and things like that, so readers can get more information from those resources. So include links and photos. Now, you don't necessarily have to just write about destinations. In your other 6 articles, you can choose a focus. Okay, so In the past, I've had students who focus on fashion, so they've like one of them, especially during the pandemic, when they couldn't go and travel a lot, they looked at a lot of YouTube influencers in fashion and kind of did exposés on different influencers and what those influencers focused on in the fashion industry. And then on the same fashion topic, I've had another student who lived in Baltimore last summer and went and did exposés on different boutiques and fashion shops in Baltimore. I've had students who focused several of their articles on hikes, so they were interested in doing lots of hikings or hikes. There's a student who lived close to the Hudson Valley in New York State, and so did like 7 or 8 articles on different destinations, mostly hiking destinations in Hudson Valley. So it's okay for you to have kind of a focus, like I want to focus on this city that I'm living in or this region. Or I've had students who focus their blog on restaurants in the city, and that's fine. So you're not necessarily going to write about just that focus area, and you're not required to have a focus area, but that's just the option I want to mention. So the blog itself, okay. So I have several tips as we scroll down even further here on creating your travel blog, tips for once you start writing, like what to do with the writing, like how do you, like going out and trying to get good dialogue, talking to people, interviewing, having lists of things so that people can find out more information on whatever the particular area or a place that you went to, how to choose the best platform.
Are you ready to start your blog, but you're stuck at what blogging platform to use? Well, keep watching. In this video...
So I'm not sure if I have the audio turned on. I'm not sure if you heard that. But this link, it's just a link to a YouTube video, and it talks about the best blogging platform. So you get to choose where your blog is hosted. Okay, so you can use WordPress.com. You can use Wix. I've had students use Tumblr. So there's all sorts of free platforms, and some platforms you pay a small amount. Most you don't have to. So you get to choose which platform you're going to use, and you go and you set it up yourself. I do ask you to set up a profile page, so some kind of link on your page that goes to a profile that just has a photo of you, and you don't have to have a lot of personal information, but it says, you know, this is a blog I'm doing for a class, or whatever you want to say, just so any reader who comes can learn a little bit about you and what you're going to be writing about. That does not count as one of your 12 plus posts when you're one of your full articles, but any blog should have a little profile or about section to it. And then make sure you watch this video, which is me last year, and it's just talking about lots of different, and I'm showing you more student websites, and I'm also just talking about you know, some good, like how to find a good theme depending on what your blog platform is, and just lots of different considerations. So it's like about a 15-minute lecture about setting up your blog. So rather than doing it here and making this like a 45-minute lecture or to start, that just make sure you watch this when you're starting to think about setting up your blog. And so yeah, so all the criteria for that really big assignment, 50%, is in this section. So note here that the first thing associated with your blog, the first deadline, is a little bit more than a week away, Wednesday, June 8th, and you're going to share the link to your blog with your discussion groups. At this point, remember, this first week you're signing up for either Group Gray or Group Green. And so those discussion forums are under week 3 and 4, and that's because there's a discussion assignment then that's kind of detailed here. So if you scroll down, here we have the 2 discussion forums for Group Green, Group Gray. Right now there's nothing in them. So you're going to do a couple different assignments in here, and it's going to start with Again, nothing's in here, but it's going to start next week when people in your group start a new discussion topic and say, hey, I set up my travel blog on Wix, or I set up my travel blog on WordPress.com, and here's the link. And that's just to introduce and let your other group members know that's what it is, because the next week they are going to be looking at it and giving you feedback. So again, let me go back to, let's see. So we'll see here, travel blog, and then there'll be a short discussion where it says right for under peer responses. So you have 1 week. So again, by Wednesday, June 8th, you just do a short post and say, hey everybody, here's my blog. It's on Wix, and you give the URL and just a little bit on like why you chose that platform. And then everybody else in your group has a week to look at everyone else's and just reply. Okay, so someone's going to have a post. You go and check out their blog, give them some feedback, and you hit reply and give them some feedback. Now, by that point, depending on when you go look at their blog, they might already have 1 or 2 of their first articles. So that's the next benchmark, is by Sunday, June 12th, everybody needs to have 2 blog articles posted to their blog. Okay, so what's the topic of this first post? It's completely up to you. Okay, but remember, you got to hit those 6 topics, diversity, global awareness topics, and then 6 others of your choice based on your travels or your experiences, whatever you're doing to be a travel journalist for this class in this time, the 6 weeks. Okay, if you're having trouble thinking about what the first article might be about, then just send me an email and talk to me. Or if you're struggling in general about ideas for what to write about this semester, then just email me if you're having any confusion. So again, everything you need to know about this major assignment is here. Okay, so let's move on. We talked about week 1 when you're signing up for your groups and you're looking at the syllabus. Week 2, we're going to have a different discussion, and it's going to happen here. It's called the Travel Blogging and Awareness Discussion. And this discussion is with the whole class. We're going to do everybody together, so it's not based on group green or group gray. And this is just kind of getting everybody into, like, what is travel writing, what is travel journalism, some aspects of traditional journalists that are similar, or lifestyle journalism, and so there's some research associated with it. And you're asked to post in both of these threads. Okay, so I've created 2 threads, and each student needs to have an initial post in each one of these. Okay, and so I've given you prompts here. And one of them is global awareness, and the other one is just what is travel writing. So you're asked to do a reading associated with food cultures that kind of talks about ways to kind of think more deeply about food experiences as cultural experiences. And then there's just also this video of a famous travel writer, Rick Steves, talking about motivations and adopting a traveler's mindset. And so you're just given a couple prompts. So each one of you should just do 1 post or reply to this, but make sure you answer both parts A and parts B, and that's for both. And then what is travel writing? And here are the prompts in here. Okay, so that major week 2 assignment is all just done through this general discussion forum, and that's for the whole class. And the parameters for that assignment are just right up here, the guidelines for the week whole class discussion. Okay, and again, if you have any questions about that, just give me a nod. For the what is travel writing, what is blogging section, there's my students a couple years ago created a wiki. So this, when you click on this, it's going to download a document and open, and it's just going to be one web page that's saved to your computer, and it's just really long, and the students have done some basic research on what's the history of blogging, what are the different types of blogging, what is travel writing, What are some types of things that lead to good travel writing? So a lot of basic things for you to start thinking about yourself as a travel writer for this semester. And then the responses to these prompts will get you writing about it as well. Okay, so that's week 2. I'm not going to talk about week 3 and 4. So or like, I guess I will a little bit. So there's a reading and discussion assignment, and that's going to be done with your in group gray and group green, and it's basically getting you to go out and read a bunch of examples of good travel writing, and to write little summaries and to think about it and have a discussion in group gray and group green. So. I have a video that I'm going to send out here and some more specific instructions, so just wait for that. But everything is there. The next assignment after that is your group blog critique. So after a few weeks, everybody's going to have several articles on their blogs, and we're going to use a tool called Flipgrid. If you haven't used that before, it's just a kind of standalone website where a person's able to set up different topics to talk about. And it's going to be private. It's not going to be open to the rest of the world, but just our class is going to be able to see it. And so group gray and group green, if you're in group gray, you're going to go and look at the blogs, the writing specifically, the articles published so far for each one of the other students. So probably that'll be 5 other students, and write a couple remarks, and then make a video where you kind of critique and give positive feedback, and then also things that that person can work on. So it will be a little bit more than halfway through the semester, so that and then you should read or watch the other students' critiques of your blog to get a better sense of what how you're doing and ideas for improving your writing on your blogs. And then that gets us into the last couple weeks. Notice several places you will see this deadline of July 14th. So July 14th is the last day of the semester. Everything needs to be turned in by that date. And the last assignment is called the Final Global Awareness Project. Now, this project can be done as an essay you turn in on Moodle, or it can be done as an extra post. So not one of the 12 plus, but if you like the blogging platform, then you can put it on your blog with photos and links. And I will get more into it here. I'll send a separate email. But basically, it's asking you or giving you opportunity to go even more in depth in thinking about a particular group that a group that you're not a part of. So a cultural group, and doing more research on it. So a group that is associated with the areas that you have been traveling or are living this semester. Okay. And if you choose not to put it on your blog, then you can submit it here. In terms of grading, I'm going to be grading as we go through the semester. So the first grade you will get will be the blog setup and first couple posts. And the rubric looks like this. So just and for each one of these items, I can type in extra feedback, and I will do that as well. And then the next one will be the group reading summaries and discussion, then the blog critiques, and then finally the major assignment, the 12 blog posts for the semester. So again, you might want to click in here. I will be reiterating some of the different aspects, and as we go through more tips for improving your writing, in the rubric for the first 2 blog posts, then I will give you specific feedback on your writing for those first 2 articles. So if you're kind of like, it's common for students to kind of be doing kind of a different sort of writing. So sometimes students start to get more into journaling type writing as to the more journalistic type writing that we're looking for. But you know, if you're on base or off base in those first 2 articles, and that's the rubric where I'm going to be telling you, giving you specific feedback. And then also when I'm talking to you, when I'm looking at your other students' critiques of your blogs. So again, you should look at those grading rubrics as well, and I'm going to be doing those as we go throughout the semester, except obviously the last one, the 12 blog posts and the final project will be done at the end of the semester there. So I think I've gone through a whole lot here, and I have other videos I'm going to send out, I'm going to create and send out as well throughout the semester. So again, I welcome you to the class. Spend this first week getting into the class and trying to better understand what we're doing. And I will generally every Sunday or Monday be sending reminders saying, okay, this is where we're at. And as always, just email me whenever you have a question about anything, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Okay? So enjoy the semester. It's a short semester. It's only 6 weeks. So even though it's designed for flexibility, there sometimes are students who have difficulty with this course only because they aren't keeping up, like kind of logging into every week and just keeping up with the tasks as they go along, and they end up 1 or 2 days left in the semester and they're like, oh my goodness, I still have like 6 or 7 blog posts to and other assignments to turn in. So just the key to success in this course is to kind of keep at it and keep doing a little bit, every couple days, and you will be successful. So take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the class.